Li Fan gradually calmed his thoughts, focusing his entire mind on joining Zhang Haobo in observing the clash between sword and wind. Such a chance was extraordinarily rare, and Li Fan had no intention of letting even a fragment of it slip away. Thus, time drifted onward unnoticed. After an unknown period had passed, Li Fan was suddenly jolted awake by a burst of azure radiance erupting from Zhang Haobo's body. Immediately afterward, Zhang Haobo disappeared from the mysterious realm where the azure wind and sword hilt confronted one another. Like a meteor falling from the heavens, he plunged downward and smashed into the depths of the sea. Within the dark ocean abyss, the surrounding seawater was instantly forced aside, creating a hollow sphere around Zhang Haobo. The sword's silhouette stretched lazily, resembling an energetic child brimming with mischief. Then, to Li Fan's astonishment, it flew out from Zhang Haobo's dantian, darting and tumbling freely through the empty space around him. This sword silhouette possessed no true substance, like the blue flame phantom spirit. It was a manifestation of pure consciousness. Li Fan was deeply shaken. Could this be sword intent? He never imagined Zhang Haobo would comprehend sword intent so quickly. Although Li Fan himself had gained certain insights from studying the sword hilt, he remained far from achieving such an astonishing level. Zhang Haobo's use of sword intent as a curio to establish his Dao foundation provided irrefutable evidence supporting Yin Shangren's theory: everything that exists beneath heaven and earth may be regarded as an unfinished curio. If sword intent could be used in this manner, then return to truth should also be possible. Furthermore, witnessing Zhang Haobo establish his foundation with something as intangible as sword intent had given Li Fan tremendous inspiration. However, using return to truth as the basis for foundation establishment was infinitely more difficult than using sword intent. To reach that goal, Li Fan still had an unimaginably long road ahead. Zhang Haobo slowly opened his eyes, and the sword intent swimming through the void instantly returned to his dantian. As the sharp brilliance within his gaze gradually faded, his entire presence transformed, becoming so ordinary and unremarkable that he appeared completely harmless. Watching this transformation, Li Fan could not help but marvel inwardly. To conceal one's aura so perfectly at the foundation establishment realm was truly extraordinary. After remaining at the ocean floor for a short while to familiarize himself with his newfound foundation establishment strength, Zhang Haobo immediately surged upward toward the sea's surface. Without the slightest hesitation, he began cultivating the sea-calming sword art. Azure water swords materialized one after another, dancing across the sky. Under Zhang Haobo's command, blue light wove intricate patterns while water dragons soared through the air. Beneath that majestic display, however, lurked an overwhelming and savage killing intent. Moreover, Li Fan faintly sensed that Zhang Haobo had yet to reveal his full strength. A vast torrent of baleful energy remained sealed within him, waiting to be unleashed. Zhang Haobo tirelessly practiced the sea-calming sword art above the deserted ocean, whether beneath the blazing sun, the pale moon, fierce winds, or torrential rain. His cultivation never ceased. Here in the Tsungen Sea, a place that was essentially his home territory, Zhang Haobo never needed to worry about exhausting his spiritual qi, allowing him to cultivate without restraint. Though his realm remained at early foundation establishment, his actual combat power advanced at a terrifying pace. The clearest sign of this growth was the number of water swords he could summon, increasing from 36 to 72, and eventually to 108. Witnessing Zhang Haobo's astonishing improvement, Li Fan found himself filled with anticipation. Li Fan remained doubtful. What will you do next? The sea-calming sword art I provided only extends to the foundation establishment realm. Can it really be that you intend to deduce the golden core portion yourself? Creating a cultivation method from scratch is something only true grandmasters can accomplish. Within the cultivation world, creating techniques independently was indeed possible. However, only genuine masters could achieve such feats. Cultivators capable of deriving entirely new techniques were honored as technique weaver masters. Their status far exceeded that of masters in artifact forging, alchemy, talisman crafting, or array formation, no matter the organization. They occupied positions of immense importance and received universal respect. As Li Fan observed and Zhang Haobo cultivated, the years quietly slipped away. The calendar had now reached anchor year 16. The great catastrophe known as Crimson Flame scorching the seas was drawing ever nearer. Li Fan began gathering information regarding the major events of the previous 2 years. Under the influence of the Eternal Heavenly Venerable, even though only 2 years had passed, many records had likely already vanished from existence. Nevertheless, through meetings with cultivators such as Yuan Xing and careful investigation, Li Fan gradually pieced together fragments of history from scattered clues. Returning to the Tianxian mirror, Li Fan meticulously organized and recorded everything he learned. He understood that before long, these memories would fade from his mind without him even realizing it. But that was acceptable. In his next life, he would recover those memories once more. While examining the records, several entries immediately caught his attention. During Anchor Year 14, shortly after he and Zhang Haobua entered deep contemplation, a major incident appeared to have occurred in the northwestern waters of the Tsungyan Sea, near the border between Yongliang Province and Jioshan Province. The price of a local delicacy known as the gilded flying fish skyrocketed to 50 times its original value within a remarkably short period. This unprecedented surge lasted only 7 days before collapsing just as quickly. Even stranger, every surviving buyer completely forgot what had happened and could not remember why they had purchased the gilded flying fish in the first place. That was the first mystery. The second unusual event took place during Anchor Year 15. A meteor streaked across the heavens, illuminating the entire night sky. No one knew where it landed, yet every cultivator who witnessed it experienced an inexplicable sense of dread and foreboding. Many attempted to locate the impact site, but not a single person succeeded. The third event had occurred only recently. The rumored Jiao Shouyuan once mentioned that 2 additional grotto heavens existed near the wood-attributed spiritual Qi grotto heaven had been confirmed, yet the truth was even more shocking than the rumor suggested. There were not merely 2 hidden grotto heavens, but 4, together with the original one, 5 grotto heavens corresponding to metal, wood, water, fire, and earth formed a subtle grand array, functioning as a complete unified whole. This discovery even attracted the greed of the 5 Elders' Council. A fierce battle erupted around the grotto heavens, and in the end, the Myriad Immortals Alliance repelled the 5 Elders' Council, though they paid the heavy price of losing a spirit transformation expert. Later, in order to prevent future conflicts and safeguard the 5 elements grotto heavens, the Myriad Immortals Alliance spent enormous resources relocating the entire formation deep into their territory, near Tianyu Province. Li Fan engraved every detail of this information into his memory. These were priceless opportunities he could capitalize upon in his next life. During these years, his avatar had not remained idle either. It had greedily absorbed countless hidden secrets of the cultivation world. Contribution points vanished at an alarming pace, leaving him with only slightly more than 73,000 remaining. The immense amount of knowledge he acquired through this intensive study was sufficient to handle nearly every situation he currently faced. So Li Fan decided it was time to stop for now. For the foreseeable future, Li Fan intended to devote himself entirely to researching cultivation techniques. As his foundation establishment breakthrough approached, the techniques he currently practiced needed upgrading, with the combined benefits of the epiphanic state enhancement and the exquisite Liuli Pearl. His avatar Lin Fan's comprehension speed was amplified 27-fold. His remaining contribution points could sustain 10 uninterrupted years of secluded cultivation. In practical terms, that amounted to 270 years of focused effort dedicated to deriving 2 foundation establishment techniques. If successful, he would free himself from dependence upon the Myriad Immortals Alliance's cultivation methods and be able to practice them directly in future lives. More importantly, this would unlock an entirely new avenue for acquiring techniques. He planned to use original Alliance techniques as a foundation, combining them with insights gathered from geniuses through the formless killing mechanisms Heaven watches and Earth listens. Then, utilizing his extraordinarily talented avatar created from the essence blood of those same prodigies, he would conduct prolonged derivations within the Tianxian mirror, and ultimately create new cultivation methods for his true self. If this entire chain of production proved feasible, then Li Fan could truly be considered a technique weaver master. Some time later, Li Fan unexpectedly received a video message. Chenin? Li Fan frowned slightly upon seeing the name before quickly recalling who he was. Chenin was the Qi refinement cultivator who had once sought his advice regarding Qin Tang's trial within Cloudwater Palace. For years, The two had never contacted one another. Why would Chen En suddenly reach out now? Li Fan opened the message. Chen En's smiling figure immediately appeared. Fellow Taoist Li Fan, I hope you have remained well. It has been over 5 years since we parted at Cloudwater Palace. Even now, I clearly remember how calmly you unraveled the mystery surrounding the oddity known as Qin Tang's statue. It remains unforgettable to me. Recently, an unusual event has taken place within the Tsungyun Sea, one that I believe may interest you. After listening to Chen En's explanation, Li Fan immediately understood why he had been contacted. It turned out that a strange phenomenon had recently emerged within the Tsungyun Sea. A vast and constantly shifting sea of white mist had suddenly appeared over the waters. One curious cultivator ventured into the mist and discovered an enormous azure ox, as large as a mountain itself, pulling a two-wheeled cart across the sea. Resting upon the cart stood a dilapidated thatched hut. Outside the hut stood two monstrous guardians. One possessed a terrifying face but no mouth. The other was massive and muscular, gripping a wooden club. From inside the hut, the clear voice of someone reciting aloud drifted faintly into the air. Such a bizarre sight naturally captured the cultivator's attention. Convinced that some hidden opportunity lay within, he boldly approached the front of the thatched hut, intending to investigate. However, the two guardians immediately blocked his path. The cultivator politely greeted them and requested permission to enter the hut. Not only was he ignored, but the club-wielding guardian drove him away with a barrage of wild swings, forcing him beyond the range of the ox cart. When he attempted to approach again, he discovered that no matter how hard he flew, he could never reach the hut. Left without alternatives, he reluctantly abandoned the attempt. After telling the story to a friend, that friend also became intrigued. The next day, the two returned together to investigate the ox cart. To his surprise, the cultivator found he could once again approach the hut. The pair cautiously moved closer, only to be beaten back once more by a rain of strikes from the wooden club. Refusing to give up, they returned on the third day. The result was exactly the same, yet rather than feeling discouraged, they became even more excited. Since their lives were never truly threatened, they realized they could simply gather more people. Sooner or later, enough attempts would reveal a path into the hut. It was obvious that the scene of the azure ox pulling the cart concealed some extraordinary opportunity. Unwilling to share such a discovery with outsiders, they invited only trusted friends to assist in unraveling the mystery. Chen En was among those invited. Yet despite bringing in more people, the outcome never changed. One after another, they were driven away by the wooden club. More than half a month passed in this manner, and they remained completely stuck. Clearly, this group lacked the intelligence necessary to solve the mystery. Meanwhile, the drifting white mist inevitably attracted the attention of more cultivators. Every day, newcomers uncovered the secret and entered the area, though everyone silently agreed to keep the matter confidential. There was no stopping the crowd around the azure ox and cart from steadily increasing. It was obvious that if things continued like this, the entire Tsungyun Sea would eventually learn of it. By then, even if a great opportunity truly existed within, it would no longer belong to them. Thus, they decided to seek outside assistance, intelligent outside assistance. And Li Fan, who had left a profound impression on Chen En back during the Cloudwater Palace incident, naturally became one of the first people considered. If this matter interests you, fellow Taoists, come to the vicinity of Yutung Island in the Tsungyun Sea. When you arrive, someone will guide you to our location. An azure ox pulling a cart? Interesting. Li Fan had never encountered any mention of such an event in his previous life.